Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Pool Deck Podcast, where we've been gone for a while.
We've been gone for a while and off of
My
our
bad.
schedule. So now, after this week, we should be back on track.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Life's busy.
Yeah, we've got a lot. It's hard to get the building onto ourselves and such.
But today,
Recording is so difficult.
we
know that you guys like it,
a hard job.
but today we know that you guys like it when Sophie explains something from Culture Day to me, and I do really bad takes on it because I don't understand anything about it. So today we're talking about Divergent, the book series.
Yes, it's a book and a movie.
It's a book and a movie. I haven't watched the movie. I haven't read the book. I don't know
thought
anything.
it was Hunger Games last time.
Divergent
So-
sounds like it's in the Hunger Games series.
It's not. Hunger Games is one thing. Divergent is the other thing. We've explained Hunger Games on here, I think.
Yeah,
before.
but here's the thing. I knew something about like Hunger Games was.
Okay.
I knew that it was like you kill everyone.
It's okay. Divergent's like really.
But I don't know
easy
what Divergent is.
and like kind of a boring way.
Okay.
Okay, so
Divergent.
There's 5 factions.
Okay.
There's a strong faction, the truthful faction, the smart faction, and the plain faction.
Plain.
Yeah, they're like nobody cares about them.
Okay.
And then there's the factionless who are like outcasts of society.
Okay.
And so like when you're 13 years old, then you have to go take a test that gives you your faction.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like your different classes, and you get assigned one for life.
Okay.
Okay, and it's all hallucinations. Like they're really good at putting people into like dream worlds and hallucinations. Like that's where everything takes place.
So this whole world is happening in the dream.
No. The world is real. The people in the world put people into dreams quite frequently.
Why?
So you can learn how to do stuff in your mind that doesn't happen in real life.
That's weird.
It's like
okay.
if the Force was inward, like in Star Wars.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. So the main character, who Triss,
Okay.
she takes this test and she finds out she's divergent, which means she has some of all the factions in her,
Okay.
and so that's dangerous.
Why?
I don't know.
I feel like
us.
I feel like this would be a good thing.
Well,
Like you could be the great unifier. You could lead the world together, and everybody could be happy again.
no, because in every like dystopian society, there's always the people at the top that want the power. They manipulate the people on the bottom. Okay.
Well, then I feel like the factionless would love her because then she could help.
No,
lead
you
them.
don't talk to the factionless. She's like 16. She doesn't know what the heck is going on.
Okay, keep
Okay.
going.
So then they do that, and then there's a ceremony. But then she sneaks up back, and then there's a ceremony where you get accepted into your group.
Okay.
And so they were told her she to stay with her group. She's the boring group right now, but she chooses Dauntless, which is the really strong, tough. They're like the military kind
Okay.
of group. And so she chooses them,
Why
and
should she choose them?
because they're exciting, because she sees them like jumping things and like climb trees and
Interesting.
yes.
Okay.
And so then she chooses them, and then they have to jump down this massive hole. And the bottom of the hole, she meets Four, who's the other main character.
4.
Yes, Four and Triss.
Okay.
Okay, and Four
Is
is
4 a guy or a girl?
Four's a guy, and she's like 18, he's like 24,
Bro, why is your kid named 4?
because he only has 4 fears.
Why would you name your kid 4?
No, he has a different name, and then he only had 4 fears, so then he changed his name to 4. It's supposed to be like a tough guy name. Like
That's
if you
not
kill-
tough.
Like
That
if
is
you
not
like
tough.
if you killed someone, you could be like
If I saw
Killer of Evans. And
if
so,
an
like, they
assassin
changed
came up
their
to me and
name.
was like, "My name is 4," I'd be like, "What the heck
well,
are
you have
doing?"
to know the backstory because he only has 4 fears. Like if he only had 4 fears, he'd be tough.
But
I think-
there's nothing in that in his name. He's just named 4.
Yes, that's his name. His
I
name
have
is
great
Four.
issue with his name being 4, but keep going.
So do a lot of people.
Keep going.
Okay. And so then what they do is they like go to training camp.
Okay.
And if you're weak, you become factionless. So you don't want to be weak. And so
Okay.
she gets knocked out a couple of times, and there's a really mean guy,
Oh, it is.
and then he knocks her out a couple of times, and then 4 develops and becomes the love interest. Obviously, you know, the 24-year-old and the 18-year-old. It makes sense.
24-year-old, 6 year. Okay, it's not as bad as Twilight.
It's not as
though.
bad as Twilight.
It's not as bad as
Nothing's
Twilight.
as bad as Twilight.
Twilight was something. Go watch that video, by the way. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. It's awesome.
Yes.
keep going.
And so then they do like a training camp scene, and there's all sorts of like she has to learn how to fight and whatever. There's this organization called WICKD.
WICK. Wix.
Oh, no. Sorry, different. That's in the Maze Runner. I'm getting all my books confused.
I've never read the Maze Runner, but I know the basic idea behind it.
The Maze Runner is super cool. I love it. Divergent so boring. Anyway, they do the training.
Maybe we should do Maze Runner.
We can do Maze Runner next. They do the training, and then, like, turns out 4 is also Divergent.
Okay.
And so part of their training is you go inside your head into those hallucinations again, and you fight your fears.
Okay.
So they can be crazy. And so 4 finds out Triss is Divergent, so he invites her into his fearscape.
Wait a second. Okay. There's 2 huge coincidences here.
Yes.
Coincidence 1. Well, not 2 huge coincidences. A coincidence and something that makes no sense. Coincidence 1.
Yeah.
How in heck does the one Divergent kid,
Yeah.
the other Divergent kid who didn't even know he was a Divergent kid because they only meet because she jumped down a huge hole? I feel like there's a problem with that.
So the story can happen.
And number 2, how do you invite someone into your dreams? First of all, why would you want somewhere up in your head in the first place? Like, no one needs to come up here.
It's not like dreams. It's like they strap you down in a chair, and then you go in there.
Yeah, but why would you invite anyone into that? And how do you...
he can show her his 4 fears. I don't know. That's what I got.
Can't you just tell it? Can you? Hey, my 4 fears are snakes, spiders, heights,
Bears,
and pizza.
No.
And why? But how do you get her into your own brain? Wait. Why would you invite a? Why does she just willingly go into this guy's brain?
Because she's just not very smart.
And the organizers don't have a problem with someone going into a girl going into a guy's brain.
He's one of the He's one of like the people that run Dauntless because he's been there for a while, and so he's kind of like in charge. He can get away with things.
At a certain point, though, it's like
no one was keeping a very close eye on them. She's not very important.
But she's Divergent.
But nobody knows that except for 4. If you're Divergent, it has to be a secret because you're dangerous. So only 4 finds out she's Divergent.
Okay, keep going.
And so then they go into the fearscapes and they like fight the fears and stuff. And she learns how he got his name. Now we learn about the name.
Well, what are the 4 fears?
I don't remember.
It seems important.
I think dying was one of them. Maybe his father. I know he's got mommy issues. That comes up later.
He's got parent issues.
I mean, it's a dystopian book.
No wonder he changed his name to 4.
You have to have parent issues.
If I had parent issues, I'd probably change my name to 4 too.
Why?
Because it's such a stupid name. Now keep going.
It's for fears. Anyways, and so then they do a lot more fighting. They fall in love. They have a nice kissing scene.
That's great. Okay.
Fantastic. And then they learn that there's this person that wants to essentially kill them all and find all the Divergent and then use them for their own purposes. Okay?
Kill all the factions?
Kill everybody. She wants to mind control everybody, track down the Divergent, and kill them. Mind control them by injecting them with stuff.
Why don't you just mind control them while they're in their hallucinations?
Well, not everybody does that.
Well, I mean,
that's like a training sequence.
Hypothetically, if you took over the let's say the Dauntless obviously go into mind sequences.
Yeah.
Why don't, if they're just in your mind sequence, you just kind of pop in there, say hello there, put a spell on them, and then you've got control of the entire Dauntless faction.
Well, 1, it's hard to go into people's mind sequences. 2, the thing about Divergent is like they're stronger than everyone else, so they can like defeat the mind sequences.
Okay.
So all the normal sheep can't do that, but so they want to find the Divergent, but then they're...
Why is she doing this now?
Because everything is a simulation. There's this whole outside world beyond the wall, and everybody is clustered off into this to see what it takes for humanity to survive. Essentially, they're in a test simulation. It's like if Area 51 and they just like cordon off giant sequences and built a town over here, and they're like, we're gonna tell you have 5 factions, we're gonna test you and see if this is how humanity will survive. They build another one over here. They're like, we're gonna test you and see if this is how humanity survives.
Keep it up. Okay. Keep moving on with the story.
And then they mind control everyone, find Triss, capture her, don't kill her, and then then Triss's brother betrays them all, and everybody goes back, and it kind of resets, and that's the end of the story.
Wasn't this evil lady's stated goal to kill the Divergent?
Yes.
And she had a Divergent.
Yes.
And she didn't kill the Divergent.
So the story can happen. And that's where book 1 ends. There's 2 more books, and then a bonus book.
Interesting.
Yes.
So everybody's inside of a walled-off area, split into.
Well, yes, they don't know what's beyond the wall, though.
So what is behind the wall? Beyond the wall.
The United States of America. The land. So there was a
So
massive...
what year is this then?
It's in the future. It's dystopian. There's
Okay.
a massive war, wiped out the entire world. Now they're rebuilding, and they're seeing what it takes for humanity to survive by running these giant test tubes of people. But you
Okay.
don't find that out until like end of book 2, beginning of book 3.
Interesting. I still have a problem with the guy being named Ford.
That's because he named himself for it. Because he has, I think his real name is like,
His real name should be like Mark.
oh,
That'd be
they do
fine.
tell us his real name. Honestly, I thought it was Tobias, maybe. It might be Tobias.
Tobias is like keeping it Tobias.
But he's like a leader, so he has to have a cool name.
Ford is not a cool name.
It means he only has cool. Because, right, like you go into these fear escapes, and typically, like when you go in there, you fight people and you die. You have to conquer all of your fears. So he played his fear escape so many times, he only has 4 fears left, right? So if you started Dauntless and you have like 20 fears, you're gonna keep on going into your dreamscape and fighting and fighting and fighting until you conquer all of them. And he's like the best one around because he only has 4 left. It's like a badge of honor.
I'm just gonna have to accept that at this point.
It's like if it's like
See-
right, use from the Mile and Swim. It's like if they called you Mile because you swim at hard event.
Yeah. I will say having been named Ford is better than the vampire finding a girl after like 250 years.
How does that relate?
I'm just saying, like, I'll take 4 over the guys in Twilight,
Yeah.
personally.
Well, what do you think of the story?
It doesn't sound too bad. It sounds a little confusing.
Yeah, and then essentially that same thing happens in book 2 and book 3.
Like the exact same, like, Divergent.
Well, they fight. They want to mind control. There's people. They almost die, not quite.
I feel like if you would eventually figure out that people are going to try to mind control you and figure out a way to stop mind control.
Well, there's also a faction like they tell the truth and they make truth serum. And so like you can, I don't know. There's some interesting things.
I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying that I figured by this point they probably would have figured out how to
Yeah.
stop mind control. You know?
But there's the people that are like watching them that are the higher power, and they have all the fancy technology, right? The scientists
Yeah.
watching their little test bunnies.
Yeah, and I figured that scientists would have figured out that the test bunnies were trying to be mind controlled, and
They're villains in a teenage dystopian romance fiction. They're not that smart.
this is why I don't read
But
teenage
they're
dystopian
so
romance.
good.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying this is why I don't do it, because you
There's some are better than others,
run up to problems like this.
but yeah. Anyway, what
Interesting.
faction would you have chosen? Erudite,
So-
Amity, Dauntless.
You're gonna have to explain to me what they do.
So
Okay.
one of them's like the smart science people, like they go
Okay.
to school.
Okay.
The Amity people always tell the truth. They're like the really nice people. It's like kind of monks. It's like if you have the monks, the scholars, the warriors, and then the housekeepers.
I'll choose scholar. Nerd here. Nerd alert.
Yeah, I would go Dauntless.
I don't feel like you would survive jumping down the pit.
You don't have to land. You just go down into a metal slide, and then you do a lot of like running and jumping on the chains and like playing capture the flag
I feel like she wouldn't
and like
survive.
boxing. I can do that and like shooting. I can do all those things.
I feel like if we put Sophie in Dauntless, she would.
I would survive Dauntless. If
I
Trish
think-
can survive Dauntless, I would survive
I think
Dauntless.
she's gonna go. I think she'd fall into factions.
You don't fall into factionless. You go to factionless if you fail. I wouldn't fail.
Of course you would have person.
Why wouldn't I? You literally just be an athlete for the rest of your life.
I just feel like
Until you get mind controlled.
Yeah, the mind control. Yeah. Alright, that's 15 minutes. Thank you for watching.
What book should we do next? Leave us a comment.
I say we say Maze Runner for a couple of weeks.
Okay, we can do Maze Runner later.
Yeah. We can figure out something else. We can watch. We can do Moana 2 came out, so we can talk about Moana 2.
I'm not gonna watch Moana 2.
We don't need to. We could just like watch a couple of reviews and then
We would review people's reviews.
Yeah, we could
We're
review.
not reviewing. That's terrible. Terrible marketing.
Okay, never mind. We're not gonna do that.
You'll
We'll figure
learn
something
next
else.
week
We'll figure
what
something
we're
else
doing.
out. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.